Welcome to the official podcast of PHP Architect. Join us to listen to the latest news and tech talk from our conferences, the magazine, and wider PHP community.
You're here. Hello and welcome to the PHP Podcast. Eric, where are you at? I can see you. Oh, all right. We lost Eric. Welcome to the PHP Podcast, episode 2025.01.16. Today's the 16th. Yes. We were not here last week, and we are waiting for Eric to rejoin. If this is your first time listening to us, it's not always like this, but hey, today it's going to be. It's the way it is. We are a podcast focused on the... What is that? Man, you just screwed up my intro. Now you got to do
it. I don't think I can podcast, man. I don't know if you can hear me or not. I don't think I can podcast.
I can hear you fine.
Okay.
2 weeks in a row, you're going to screw us up, huh?
All right. Okay. Give me a minute. You Phil. I'm going to find a hard wire and plug this thing in. Hold on.
I was trying to, and you screwed me up right there. If this is your first time joining us, we are a podcast focused on the PHP community, PHP Architect, our company, and the PHP programming language. I'm one of your hosts, John Congdon, and not with me right now because he can't get his computer working is Eric Van Johnson. The show is made a little better sometimes when we have internet connections, thanks to some sponsorship. So thank you to honeybadger.io. More on them later. If you want to be a part of the show, please join us over in Discord. You can go to discord.phparch.com and hang out with us. We're there all week and would love to have you there. All right. Are you back now?
I'm working on
You're still working on things.
All right. Switching over to Hardline here.
We did not record last week because Eric was having internet issues, actually complete internet outage. And now this week he is having some other issues. Don't know what those are, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I think the hard wire is picking up. So I moved my office around. As you can see, I don't have my normal shelves in the background here. I do have the lovely elephant my wife gave me for Christmas back there. But so my whole setup is on Wi-Fi, which works perfectly fine
until you
except when I try to stream, apparently, because I've been on several meetings. Yeah. Welcome to the PHP Podcast. This is the I assume you got.
I think so. That? I got through enough of it. It'll work. Oh, hey, Fatal X. Found out this was live thanks to Mastodon, so thank you for tooting, Eric. And we lost Eric again. We're off to a big, what a start for 2025, huh? I don't think we've had a good show yet, but that's okay. It can only go up from here. We'll go with that. We lost him.
Okay.
Oh, you're so much better right now.
Yeah. I turned off Wi-Fi altogether. So
there you go.
And the hard wire.
I was saying just before you cut out that Fatal X said they found out we were live thanks to a Mastodon toot. They appreciate you tooting it out.
Hey, no problem. We love our Mastodon. Yeah. Cool. So I assume you got through all the intros and stuff?
I think so. It started and stopped so many times because you kept interrupting me. So let's say yes.
You are a fucking feisty person. You know that? Like, goddamn, you're jumping on my ass all week this week. You're just driving me nuts, man. We're going to have to file for divorce. We'll figure out what to do
again.
Yeah, I think so. Holy God.
I didn't think I said anything that bad this time. Usually usually you have good cause for that, but man.
Sounds like you blamed me. Blaming me. Oh, man, I got my camera. I got my wax. I got my my museum wax I was telling you about on my camera now, so hopefully that doesn't fall. It's been a stressful week. So this is why I don't change my office around. This is life of an ADHD person, right? My whole office change started with, hey, you know what? I should clear off that shelf. And I started clearing off the shelf, and 6 hours later, 8 hours, 12 hours later, my entire office was rearranged because I couldn't stay focused on just doing one thing. One thing, exploded into other things. I don't know if that's ADHD or compulsion or whatever it is, but
that's yak shaving, isn't it? You start off doing one thing, and then you're like, but to finish this, I got to do this, and I got to do that, and then it's like. And you still have all the stuff on the shelf, right? You never took anything off of it.
Yeah. No, the shelf is still back there. Yep, everything. Yeah, nothing changed there at all. Yeah. And my beautiful wife, who is very understanding of my thought process, comes downstairs, and I hear her say, "Oh my, so we're doing what today?" Because by this time, my entire office was upside down, and. Oh man! And then of course I get it all done, and it's no small feat moving all this stuff around, and I get it all done. Well, not all done. I mean, like you can still see, like behind me is all blank. I need to put something back there, but I get a lot of it done, and I'm sitting here, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I like this.
I want it back the way it was.
So yeah, I don't know where I'm at now. I got mental issues, man. Tell you.
But now you have space for your Oculus.
That's that's what I told her. I was like, hey, well now I can get my chair in the middle of the room and I put my Oculus on and actually do things now, not punch shelves. That's not what started that whole process, by the way. I was happy, but. Oh, John, busy week, man. Busy couple weeks, actually. Oh, so let's talk about last week for a second. First off, thanks to everybody who reached out and asked about how we're doing. We're fine. I'm probably closer. I know I'm closer to the fires than John was, but that was never an impact. The thing that we have here in Southern California, and it's more of a punishment, right? 1 year down in San Diego, when we had a really bad fire, one of the things that it was determined was the cause of the fire. So it didn't start the fire, but it made the fire worse, where there were some poorly maintained power lines that fell during the fire, which only sparked new fires, right? So the power company there kind of got their hands slapped and said, hey, do a better job at maintaining your lines. This shouldn't have happened, blah, blah, blah. Now, as a result, like all the power companies in Southern California says, if the winds get too high, especially during fire season, which is what we're in now, if the winds get too high, they're like, oh, we don't want to cause a fire, so we're going to shut down everybody's power. And I'm like, oh, man. And of course, that happened to us last week, like 15 minutes before the show went live. And the cool thing about it is, if you've been following the show, I had solar put on this year with batteries. And it was the first time I was able to stay online when everybody else was down. And the power was out for about 12 hours. I think it came on like 2 or 3 in the morning. And what happens is when the power goes out, there's this adjustment time where the internet goes down until it can come back online. It took about 30 minutes for the internet to come back, or 45 minutes for the internet to come online. Meanwhile, everybody's jumping on their phones and chewing up the 5G network, so I couldn't even stream with my 5G, which is
he was trying. It was so bad.
Yeah, that's always been like my fallback in the past, is I just jump over to 5G when we have power issues, but no, it didn't work last week. So yeah, we're fine. It was cool, because it was the first time since getting the batteries installed that we've had such a major power outage for so long in the dark, where like my house was the only house lit up.
Justified your purchase.
Oh, 100%. Well, and it did in a way because depending on what side of the fence you're on here, my wife was able to. My wife works at night. For those that don't know, so she works a shift that starts at 9 at night and she works until 6 in the morning. She was able to work her entire night, as opposed to not being able to work, which is very beneficial to her company and everything else. So yeah, that was cool, but I was like, I was just waiting for the neighbors to come knocking on the door, like, "Hey, can we charge our phones?"
How do you have power and we don't?
Mhm. Well, they all listen to the podcast, I'm sure, so they know.
Oh,
Everybody
yeah.
listens to my podcast, yeah.
Of course.
So yeah, that was cool. It was cool to go outside, and because I live a little bit on a hill, and so I can see a lot of the neighborhood and just see like just darkness all the way down the
Just
hill.
pitch black.
Yeah, it was kind of cool.
I don't know if you have access to your Facebook right now.
Yeah,
I guess I could try and share it. My wife. So we did a cameo. We paid for a cameo because Tony Hawk.
Oh, I saw this.
Yeah, Tony Hawk is doing reduced his cameo price and is donating all the proceeds from it to feeding people in LA that are stuck in the wildfires. And my kids are at that age now where they are skateboarding and love it. So my wife, donated through Tony Hawk just to get the cameo, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah, let's share that real fast. I do want to share. I mean, there's no issue with sharing it, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I know. Here, you should hear it. Let me know if you don't hear it.
Nolan, Grayson, what's up? It's Tony Hawk. Hey, happy Valentine's Day from your mom and dad and from me, of course. I heard you guys skate PQ, Carmel Valley, and that's awesome. I love those parks. Those are super cool. And working with Falco for a couple years. Anyway, keep up the good work. Keep skating. Keep ripping. And I appreciate your mom and dad for helping me to provide more meals through World Central Kitchen to all those affected by the fires. You guys keep ripping it up. And Nolan, Grayson, if you get a chance and you're near a skateboard, do a kickflip.
No. So for those of you that don't know, Tony Hawk is a local in San Diego. He lives in, I think still lives in Carlsbad. I don't know. He might have moved by now, but so yeah, he's one of the hometown heroes of San Diego. It was funny because we were flying out of San Diego one time when my kids were younger, but they were old enough to be smart asses. And my one daughter turns and says, "Who's that guy think he is, Tony Hawk?" And it was an older gentleman who had a skateboard, and his whole family had skateboards. And the wife and I looked, I'm like, "Yeah, no, that's Tony Hawk."
Kids say the stupidest things.
I'm a little confused. What's with the Happy Valentine's Day? Or
yeah, I don't know if when she paid for it, she was saying, "Oh, we'll save this for Valentine's Day," but then shared it with them anyway. I mean,
okay.
It's only a couple weeks away, so that must have been the way she was trying to portray it to the kids. Like, hey, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, I saw it. I think I saw it on her stream first.
Yeah,
and I'm like, wow, that's like an old post. Like, why are they reposting it? And then I listened to the end. I'm like, did we have a fire last year too? I was trying to remember. I was trying to put it all together. I was a little broken, and then I realized, I don't know what that. I never did figure out why he said that until you explained that. But
yeah, that's my assumption anyway.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a nice guy.
So we're talking about the past couple weeks, talking about all the issues you've had, how busy things have been. Very busy.
Hold on, before we move on.
I'm not moving on.
You couldn't get him to do a quick rap? Doesn't give me He couldn't have rapped a little something about the show, maybe? I don't know.
let me jump right on that.
That's a reference to Harry Mack. If you didn't listen to the PHP Ugly podcast, that was one of the only reasons people would tune in was to listen to Harry Mack. All right, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Continue, John. I interrupted.
Watching that guy, I mean, he's still amazing. Still like watching.
Did you hear he lost his house?
Yeah. Yep. I think yeah, I shared it in our Discord channel.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking. And then again, I don't know. He needs some money now. Maybe he'll start doing
Maybe he'll take our money again.
Yeah, exactly. The guy's too big for his britches.
Let me reach out to his people. Hey, now that he probably needs money because of his house, will he do it?
I'm an
open it? And I'm gonna make it. I'm only gonna give you 50% what I gave you last time.
I'm sure that's how it works. All right. Yes. Rough week.
Yeah.
Man.
Just talking about a rough week. For those that don't know, I work a lot in the phone systems for one of our clients. Like, do a lot of coding between PHP and then connecting to an Asterisk PBX server or servers and do a bunch of work. And I've been working on a feature now for, it's gotta be going on 3-4 weeks. And got it all the way to QA a couple days ago. We were trying to get it released yesterday. And the wheels just fell off. Like,
oh no.
Like just nothing. All of a sudden I pulled one string and broke everything. And I've been if you were to see my like recent calls, I must have called myself like 1,000 times the past couple of weeks, just because it's constantly call myself. And then the whole feature I'm building is transferring. So then I'm transferring to myself, and it's just like so many calls coming in. I'm so sick of listening to my ringtone. I need to change it. I don't know why I haven't done that yet. It's been bad.
I haven't gotten used to my new ringtone yet. I should actually go in there and look out and change them. I got my stereo working finally.
Your what?
My stereo in my truck that has. So I have an older truck now, and I got an early version of a stereo system that had Android and Apple CarPlay. And I had it I had the stereo system for over 10 years now, more than 10 years actually. And
it was early on in Diego Dev.
yeah,
I remember you doing that.
And I remember the kids were in high school. They were. I remember when I did it. They had a water polo tournament, and I had popped into Best Buy, and worked fine. I mean, but I'd always been on Android, and I knew it had Android and Apple Play. But understand, both these Apple CarPlay, both these platforms have made a lot of changes over the last 10 plus years. So when I switched over to the iPhone, I plugged it in, and CarPlay just didn't want to work. It was there; it was an option. Like I could see it to switch over, but I couldn't get it to initiate. So I pull up the manual. I'm like, maybe I'm doing something wrong, because I know in my wife's car, hers is wireless, so you don't even have to plug it in. It just wirelessly picks up the phones. I didn't really use wireless on the Android device because it would just drain the battery very fast.
Right.
But I did on the iPhone. So the iPhone worked fine on the wife's, but on the older truck wasn't an option. So I checked the manual, and turned out, for whatever reason, back then when they made it, each thing, the Android and the Apple CarPlay, had its own USB port.
No way.
Yeah. And so I'm like, that can't be right? I mean, it's a USB port. That can't be the case. So I went in and I bought it from Best Buy. I'm like, hey, this is gonna be crazy. This thing's over 10 years old. I'll get it if you guys aren't interested, but I can't get Apple CarPlay to work. And I looked at the manual and it says that it's a different USB port. And the guy's like, yeah, he's like, back in the day they did that, but it probably won't work for both your devices. I'm like, yeah, can we just like try that other USB port and see if it works for CarPlay? And he's like, yeah, dude, like how, like I didn't do it myself. Like back in the day, I've installed a couple car stereos, right? But I have not done that since high school, and I had no interest in trying to figure out how to take this out of my truck. You've seen my truck, right? I have that whole panel there. This guy just popped off the entire panel and unscrewed the thing. I mean, he had it out of my truck in under 5 minutes. That's how people steal these things, I'm sure. And we tried the other USB port and it worked. So I have my.
So it's literally a USB port in the back of the device that they installed.
Yep.
Wow.
There's two ports back there. One's for Android. And I asked him, I'm like, hey, can I have both of them plugged in? He's like, oh, he goes, you know what, dude? He goes, that's probably not going to work. That's why they have these, two different ports. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, why wouldn't, if they had separate ports, like, why wouldn't they both work? And so he's like, we can try if you want, and tried it. And yeah, they both work. I mean, it's fine. I just have two wires now coming out as opposed to when I used to have one. So I'm happy.
And you have to label the other side, like this is my iPhone and this is my Android?
No, so I call it a jockey box. I know a lot of people don't know what that is, but it's like a box that sits between the two seats up front. And that's the one that the initial installer put the USB port in. So I have that one. It's still in there. And then I just ran another one, just hid it under my driver's side seat, because that's the Android one. And I only kept it because the wife is still on Android, and occasionally she'll drive my truck, and I want her to be able to plug in. So it was an exciting little. I miss doing that. I miss doing that sort of thing, like working with hardware and like installing stereos and stuff. But I don't have any interest in trying to do it again.
My favorite was building my speaker box when I was in high school.
Yeah,
I think I had 2 12-inch subs in there, and my stepbrother and I picked the box up, slid it into my Escort, my little Ford Escort that I had, and it fit so well. And it was around the time of Ace Ventura, so as we slid in, I was like a glove, like it just fit so perfectly. I was so happy.
I learned how to drive a stick in a Escort, my mom's Escort. Yeah.
Yep. And then I got yelled at by my stepdad.
Why? How many fuses did you blow?
I don't remember, but I just, of course, I'm going to crank up the bass, and he came out yelling at me. Nobody wants to listen to that. And I'm like, yeah, I do. The good old days.
I had something funny happen today, actually.
What is that?
I'll throw this over. So Scott Keck Warren. Here, let me share this. Actually,
I actually watched that today.
Yeah, Scott Keck Warren does a bunch of videos for us. He does Community Corner for us now. Does a great job. Probably much better than I ever did. And he had this Community Corner, which, if you're not familiar, it's Scott talking to people in the PHP community or tech people in general. And just a little quick interview. They're usually about 10, 15 minutes long. This one is, I don't know, it's not down there, but it's short. It's not very long at all. And it's with Mohammed from Neon. And it's a cloud-based Postgres solution. I'm like, hey, that sounds pretty cool. I'm like, I should check that out. And so I go over to neon.tech and try it out. And it has all the normal social logins, Google, Facebook, blah, blah. And so I log in, and I already have an account. I already had a PHP Architect project in my account. I'm like, oh, I've been here before.
You do like to try out new things. You're bouncing around all the time.
I keep saying I need to just do quick little blog posts.
Yeah.
about these things because I play with so many things. I've been getting onto the self-hosting kick again, which I kind of go back and forth on. Not a huge fan of self-hosting, but then there are certain aspects of it I do enjoy. But yeah, so I've been playing around with a bunch of tools. I'm like, I should start doing quick little blog posts, especially on things that I think impact our work as directly, like PHP development sort of stuff.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was great to see this. Go check it out. It's on our YouTube channel, and check out or come to the website. This is what I've been telling people now. Just come to phparch.com, and everything we have now, I'm getting on here. So I did see that I missed another video from Scott. So Scott does Community Corner, but he also does these educational videos as well, which he does a great job on as well. And I need to get that one on here. But if you're ever wondering what's going on, come here and you'll see it. All of our videos and everything are here. So that's that. Do we want to talk tech?
We do want to talk tech because we've done some amazing things in the past couple of days. I've spent lots of money. You happy about that?
Oh God, so much money, man. So much money.
So we reached out to speakers. We've got speakers lined up. We've been in contact with them as far as getting travel arranged. So I've already got half a dozen flights already booked. So things are in the works.
Not only speakers here, which is really cool. We talked to Molly yesterday, who's going to do one of our keynotes, probably our opening keynote. Really excited after talking to her. But we also got schedules up as well. Now, keep in mind, it's very early. The conference is until May, so schedules may move around. But
we literally put this up minutes before the show started.
No, we had this up weeks ago, John.
Yeah. No, minutes before the show started.
But you can at least see the topics that are going to be talked about that are going to be on the schedule, whether they're in the same place when you show up or not is a different topic. But yeah, things are coming together. Why isn't the keynote on here, John?
It should be. I don't know. That is a fantastic question and something I may look at while you are over there.
So we do still have some open spots. So we are still filling some slots. Meaning that, and these are not spots where, we've had one speaker pull out for a very good reason. They pulled out, but we do have some open spots that we're trying to figure out what talks we're going to use to fill those. But pretty much everything, it looks like we only have those 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, just these 4 right here. Cool, man. 5.
No, so the problem with the ones that are blank, they haven't accepted. That's why Molly's isn't showing up. They have to get the email and go click accept. So I will have to email her and say, hey, by the way, you have to do this.
Yeah, okay. So they haven't accepted. So we only have 2 blank spots, right? I think we only have 2 open spots right now. Oh, there's one over here.
It's 3, but
is it 3? Okay. Yeah. Cool. So we still have if we sent out notifications to everybody because we had enough of the schedule filled where we're like, okay, let's just not leave people waiting, guessing whether or not they're going to speak or not. Let's, the talks we haven't accepted, let's send declines for, and so it's and everything out.
With us announcing the schedule, by the end of the month, we will turn off blind early bird pricing and go to our full price for the conference. Now's the cheapest time to buy. If you're going to attend tech, do it now. Get your ticket before we raise the prices.
Yep. I mean, I guess we can stop calling it blind early bird and just call it early bird for the next 2 weeks. But it's
it may not be 2 weeks. It may be a week. We haven't finalized that yet.
Yeah.
I've been saying by the end of the month, but it may be earlier.
Yeah, we're not going to do another tier. It just we don't want to manage that, so it's just going to jump from this to full price. which is going to be $1,000, maybe.
I thought it was
You know?
15. I thought we said 15. 1500.
Well, yeah, okay. 1,000 for one day, 1,200 for 2 days, 15 for the full thing. Okay, John. No, it won't be that much. But yeah, jump on. Also, if you've been curious about sponsoring tech, which we have a couple sponsors. I need to get them. I don't have anybody on here yet.
Because we're waiting for payment. But outside of that, we've got a couple signed up.
I have us on here. So we got a couple sponsors. But if you've been interested in sponsoring us, John and I did a bunch of soul searching last week and just said, you know what? Let's just cut all the sponsor prices by like a lot. So if you have if you have the link to our prospectus, revisit that. And there are new tiers on there, as well as the existing tiers have been cut. So if you work for somebody who you think would benefit from sponsoring, mention it to them. We think it's extremely affordable for a 3-day conference for what it's worth. Yeah. Besides that, I have another announcement I want to make. We have other stuff to talk about, though. All right.
Nothing, not a lot. Just been. It was mostly my crappy week.
That's your own doing, man.
It is. I almost threw my hands up in the air and said, "I want to start from scratch. I'm done with this. I can't do it anymore."
Yeah. I had a good meeting today. We had a new mobile developer start a few weeks back and been kind of slowly bringing him up to speed. But today, it was his first, I had him do a lot of talking at the meeting, and kind of his first real turnaround on where he's done a release for the client. They gave him some feedback and he's done another release, right? So that's kind of where we're at. Like, he's on his second or third release with the client. And it just felt really good to hear the feedback from the client, which I haven't told him yet because I don't want his head to get too big. As far as he's concerned, he's always on the edge of being fired. But they were just really happy. They're like, oh, it was so good to see how quickly he responded to our feedback, how fast he's making changes. So kudos to Brooks, our mobile developer. He's doing a great job. But along those same lines, we are in the hunt for another employee for PHP Architect, if you've ever wanted to work for PHP Architect. But I got to be honest with y'all, we're going to be very picky about this position. We're looking to bring on our first full-time dedicated sysops person. I know what you're saying. What? You're first? Haven't you guys been in business for over 10 years? 15 years? Has it been 15 years yet? I feel like
it's 12. 13.
12? Okay.
We're
over 10 years, and you haven't had a dedicated sysops person. To be fair, we've never marketed ourselves as sysops people. We were a development group. We just kind of fell into managing systems. And
we've done a good job at it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have very skilled people we brought on board who are able to do that. But we're bringing on our first sysops person who absolutely, without question, must have a very strong understanding of AWS, because the biggest client we have that we're going to be using the sysops person for is all 100% AWS. And we're not talking about just EC2 instances. We're talking about the whole gamut. And we would like to get more ingrained in there. So AWS, absolute must. Not this.
I wouldn't say the whole gambit because there's a lot in AWS, but
that's true.
The big ones, your load balancers, auto scaling groups, RDS. What else?
EC2,
Kubernetes. We use EKS, right?
Yeah, the SMS, whatever that is.
Yeah.
There's a SES.
Yeah.
there's a lot. And so I can't have people coming in saying, oh, I can learn this. I'm sure you can. And if we had more people, I would be more inclined to entertain that, but we don't. I need
Like if
somebody
we were
to come
hiring a
in.
second sysops person, we would do that. But
Right. So we're
you're
definitely
gonna
looking
come
for a
in.
more senior sysops person who has a strong skill set in AWS. And I'm going to be very picky about these interviews. So feel free to reach out to John or I through any of our many avenues, or you can just email us at support@phparch.com, and that would find its way to John and myself. Just don't say, hey, can I post a link to your site? Can't think of any of those we get. So yeah, sysops person, yeah, reach out, let me know, and hopefully it works out well. You'll have a lot of the other thing, and we don't typically make this strong of a restriction, but for this particular position, I'm going to say you have to be US based, and you will need to be able to solidly work on West Coast time. And I mean, not a, well, can I start, can I knock off at 3:00 on West Coast time? No, you cannot. Okay. You'll need to work from 8 to 5 West Coast time. That's not negotiable. And I'm not against it because, again, my wife works at night, but I'm not looking for that person to have to work through the night right now.
Mhm.
Again, if this was a second position, be more open to this, but not for this particular. And you have to be US based because of some security things that you'll need and you have to be able to pass a background check as well. That's going to happen. So yeah, there's some security things that you need to adhere to, and being US based is one of those things. So yeah. Sorry for all our non-US based people out there.
Yeah.
It's really not our call on this one.
That's fair. Yep.
So yeah, reach out to us. Let us know. We all have friends. I thought I had friends. Apparently I don't. Because I couldn't. I had my little inner circle. I teased it out there to my inner circle. Think, oh yeah, I know enough people. I'm not going to announce this to the world. Are you crazy? Yeah, here I am. Because I don't have as many friends as I thought I had.
You have friends sometimes.
Oh man. Yeah, what else we got going on? Dude, I can't even think of everything.
I can't either. We will be having a bunch of information coming out about tech soon, including that guy right there.
Why don't you just share it, man? Just share it. Just show it. Just show it, man. I was going to talk to you about this before the show, and I forgot.
Yeah. So we haven't named him yet. We're looking for a name.
I thought we had. Did we not name him Tony?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Just
all right. Yeah, we might be looking for a name. I'm leaning Tony myself for selfish reasons.
Where'd Tony come from? I don't even remember.
Look at the colors, dude. Tony.
Oh, Tony.
Gwyn. Tony Gwyn.
I was gonna say Gwyn, but I was afraid I was gonna be wrong. We did go with the Padres colors. Close to.
No,
they're not.
We didn't go with black and gold. It just happened to be the Padres have those colors as well.
Yeah. That's it. Yep, a little baseball hat on there with the PHP Architect logo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, that logo, that hat and logo was a pain in the ass to get done too, by the way.
So especially when they kept telling us we can't do it, it's gonna be too small, it won't work. Yeah. I think it worked out just fine. I mean, look, compared to the hat.
Yeah, I like it, man. I think it was a good move. I think I'm glad you stood behind that and did it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, what is your $1,500 tech ticket getting you? Again, not $1,500, but let's just pretend. it will get you a free stuffed elephant for PHP Tech 2025.
And if you don't already collect, if you don't collect elephants, come to PHP Tech and watch how crazy people go over elephants because we all love them. Obviously, we got tons of them behind us. Yeah, they're not behind you anymore. You moved your camera.
I know. Here, I think I can do this. Hold on. Let me see if I can do this.
Yep.
Will this switch? Look, mine are all up there. Look at all those guys. Oh, there's elephants up there. That's a lot of elephants.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's switch it back here.
Corey likes that. Cool.
Yeah. So, and don't get used to this. Don't think, well, I'll go next year and we'll get whatever the elephant is next year. We don't know if we're going to keep doing it. We did it last year because we really wanted to do an elephant for Oscar. And then we're like, okay, that went over well. And, let's do it again. And we did it again. But it is not fun to do. It's not fun to do.
It is not cheap.
It's not cheap to do either. Yeah, it's a very big upfront cost, and it takes time, like 6 months. We have to start doing this. We started doing this pretty quickly after.
Not soon enough, obviously. If they don't get here in the next 3 days, I'm worried our price is going to go up.
Oh, that's right. We're there, aren't we? Holy smokes.
We're there. Wow. Do the tariffs go into place into play that quickly?
Yeah. Oh, this is gonna be an interesting week. Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Let's not think about it. Let's move on.
Put my back in the sand.
McNeely, prices will be going up by the end of the month. When Eric and I talked last week, it was going to be, we were going to talk about it today, and it was going to be next week. I've just been saying by the end of the month because I don't have an exact date yet. Yeah. If there's anything that we can do to help, get your company to buy you a ticket, let us know. We will work with you. If you have a development group of more than, say, 5 or more people, let us know. We will work with you.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about group pricing, did we? Yeah, we definitely do our best with group pricing, as well as community sponsors. We don't promote it a lot, and it's not even on our prospectus. But if you have like a user group or some sort of community effort, like if Ben came to me and said, "Hey, we would really like to do something with PHP community Mastodon," reach out to John and I, and we'll work on the something for pricing as far as the table goes and all that. Usually, it's just whatever the cost is for the people who you want to attend, but. Yeah, reach out to us. We do our best. Jeffrey and our Jay Davison web dev. I called him Jeffrey because I know that's his name. They will never be pinstripe, baby. Never. Get over it.
All right, I'm doing a thing while we're here. I'm going to put this over here like this. And then I'm going to drag this over here.
What is this?
And I will put it here. And I will do this. 10%.
Are we making discount codes for people already?
Would I do that? I would never do that.
Corey posted, and if you go to phptech.io, we have a convince your boss letter that you can steal from us. You did a 10% tech ticket. Oh, nice. You probably should have waited until after we did Blind Early Bird, but you do you, man.
Well, watch this. Nobody will ever know. They'll never see it.
Yeah, so we're not going to put that in the show notes yet. If you're watching the live stream, there's a discount code up there for all you audio listeners. Just go to about 49 minutes in, and you can grab it yourself. But yeah, Corey is talking about Convince Your Boss, which is fun. I should just pull that up. Let me see. I got that on here, right? Where's tech? Don't I have tech open somewhere? Yes, right there. Convince Your Boss. Yeah. Let's do that. That's actually a better idea, John. Let's
Every once in a
convince
while.
our listeners. What a great sponsor. Did you talk about our sponsor before?
I
You let them
did.
know?
I
Okay.
did.
So, real life sponsor, HoneyBadger.io, been behind us for a long time, but more importantly, is a product we use here at PHP Architect and have been using it since before we were PHP Architect. So, let's give them some love. If you are in the need for monitoring or part of their new service, you might want to let them know that you heard about them from us.
Splunk like querying without having to sell my kidneys? Nice. That's a direct quote from someone who just saw HoneyBadger Insights, the new observability tool from the folks at honeybadger.io. Insights is a fresh approach to logging, performance monitoring, and observability. It's a bit like Splunk, Datadog, or CloudWatch logs, but with just the good parts and a reasonable price tag. HoneyBadger helps you gain deeper visibility into what's happening inside your applications, letting you drill down into the details and step back to see patterns in your data. You'll love how easy it is to query your logs and events and create quick charts and dashboards. The best part is that it's available on HoneyBadger's free tier as part of their comprehensive monitoring suite, which includes error tracking, uptime monitoring, status pages, and more. Get started for free, then pay as you grow, or choose a 30-day free trial to unlock the full power of HoneyBadger right away. To get started, visit honeybadger.io/plans. That's honeybadger.io/plans. Thank you, HoneyBadger.
HoneyBadger. Oh, wow. That was like on time. Yeah, so I know we've been talking a lot about it today. But yeah, we have a couple cool things on the PHP Tech website. The Convince Your Boss, these can be found at the bottom. We have Convince Your Boss. We have why, in case you ever need to make some of the benefits why we think going to a conference is a good thing. The Convince Your Boss is a big one though.
We gotta fix that. It said 2024 on there.
No, it didn't. Where?
On the why. On the why. On the why.
Oh, on the why?
Yeah.
Because I did it in 2024, my head doesn't.
Let's just change it to why send my team to PHP Tech and we'll be good.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll do that. I need to fix that little hiccup on the TV site as well, which is another thing, by the way. By going to PHP Tech, you get access. If you go to PHP Tech 2025, you will get access to the talks, the video stream of PHP Tech 2025, as well as 2024 and 2023. You backfill all those. John and I are talking about some ideas around this as well. But yeah, PHP Tech, we got a lot of marketing stuff I need to clean up here as well. But you get PHP Tech TV, PHP Tech, lots of cool things going on. Oh, also, god damn, I keep talking about PHP Tech now. Another new thing we're doing this year, if you didn't know, is we're trying to add some blog posts just as a way to convey information or ideas to everybody. This is actually a post from Corey from last year where she did a bunch of things to do around Chicago. Super helpful. Very, very helpful. So if you're interested, she even posted the schedule of the White Sox and Cubs, who are both Chicago teams, are going to be playing each other while we're in Chicago. That is going to be fun. So yeah, keep an eye out for blog posts. We have a Telegram channel now. Sorry, I just hit my mic. We have a Telegram channel, just PHP Arch, which every time there's a new blog post, either here or on the PHP Arch website, it does a quick post to Telegram. And lets you know that there's something new out there if you're a Telegram person. So, matter of fact, we have a bunch of new socials out there. We have a squad on that, whatever that thing's called, Dev. What is it?
Daily Dev.
Daily Dev. Yeah, we have our own squad on Daily Dev, where I try to keep a bunch of stuff posted there as well. Yeah, we just want to make sure that however you consume stuff, there's a way for you to get what we're doing. And we're going to try to add more content. Like I was talking to John, and and start creating some blog posts of the stuff I work with. Or I think I was talking with you guys earlier in this very podcast. So yeah, cool stuff. We try to keep our PHP love out there. So crazy. All right. I need to,
on a non-PHP front.
What?
On a non-PHP front, yeah. Back in the day, were you ever on the board of like your little league or anything your kids did?
No, not my kids. I intentionally stayed away from my kids' sports.
Yeah, I joined the little league board this year for my kids' baseball, and man, all the meetings and everything you have to go through, what a pain in the butt.
Yeah. Did I ever tell you about this with my dad? My dad, when I was one of the funniest
you may have
family stories we had. My dad, I don't even know how they got involved with the Boys and Girls Club, is what it was back when I was playing. And every year, my dad was like, "Oh, this is my last year." He was an assistant coach. Then he'd come back. Okay, I'm going to coach this one team this one year because he didn't have anybody, and this and that. And so one year he goes, "All right, I'm going to the boys club meeting. I just want to make sure that they don't put me in any positions. I'm going to let them know I'm done," because I was aging out. Like I was older, and I was getting ready to leave the boys club. So he's like, "I just want to make sure they don't put me on any positions or anything." And then he comes back, and my mom is like, "What position do you have?" He goes, "League president." He did completely wrong.
He doesn't know how to get out. Yeah, our current president is like, every meeting he reiterates, "This is my last year. I'm done. I'm not doing it again." So I think this is
starting your journey.
Well, I think this is his third year doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. It takes a lot out of you. It's never ending. Dogs are barking, John.
I know. I don't know why.
I got a potty.
Probably.
Okay. Also non-PHP related. If you're in SoCal, well, I guess you don't have to be in Southern California, but I am on the boards talking about being on boards of public relations for the Southern California Linux Expo, which is happening in March, a couple months before Tech. If you're an open source person, which I've always been pretty big in open source, I enjoy this conference because it's a really nice recharge of why I was drawn to open source and how much open source has helped me. But Scale 22 is coming up. I can't even begin to tell you, like, they have presentations on flipping everything. I mean, this thing is so big. Look, you see all these like pages down here? This isn't over the years. This is this year alone. Can I just jump to the end? Is there like a way to is it just 9? Nope, there's 13. There's 13 pages of talk.
Nope, keep going. There's some more.
Is there more? No, I don't think so. Oh my God. Can I not just jump to the end?
You cannot. You have to click on 17.
Man, there's just a talk on everything, and they have a bunch of specialties, and they also have co-located events. So if you go to co-located events, they have Planet Nix, which Nix is the big new OS out there. They have a bunch of all these events are happening within Scale itself. It's just absolutely insane. They have security tracks, ops tracks. I've been teasing that I'm going to get a bunch of PHP people, and we're going to create a PHP track here. And of course, the guy who runs this whole thing, Elon, he's like, yeah, just do that. As long as I don't have to do any, finding the people, you get the people. But then I'm like, no, I need them for my goddamn conference. I'm not bringing them to your conference. Are you crazy? Lucky you have me.
Yep.
But this is
Considering, 20 pages, 10 per page, so just under 200 presentations. That's crazy.
Oh, dude, it's so insane. So insane. John and I actually, one of our, the guy who still works for us, we met him at a scale one year when scale was much smaller. But even then, it was big.
I think, was that scale 10 or 11? I can't remember.
It was, I just remembered it was outside the airport. Remember, it was like right there at the airport.
Yeah.
LAX, yeah. Now it's in Pasadena.
Because I think that's when it was like, turn it up to 11. Like they had the whole like stereo thing.
Yeah. And humble brag, but if you go to the Scale YouTube channel, which I will not do, maybe I will do it because it's right here. If you go to the Scale YouTube channel, the first, how many not subscribed? Oh, I'm on here as PHP Architect. Their very first video ever on their YouTube channel, if I can get to it, maybe I can't. It's me. I started their YouTube channel.
Shocker.
Look at all these videos they have now. Holy smokes. I can't even get to the end. I don't even know what the end is. This is ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah, no, 9 years, 11 years ago. Here we go. This is me. Wow, 11 years ago. Scale 11. This must have been the same one.
So, again,
look at that guy. Nice and in focus.
George Castro for
Good.
your deployments.
Yeah, so I kicked off their YouTube channel. Humble brag. I'm always very proud of that fact. I will subscribe as PHP Arch. And if you're not subscribed to the PHP Arch YouTube channel, you should most definitely do that.
Yes.
It is well worth it.
Please do that. We would appreciate it.
All right. We talk about everything?
Everything we have for now.
All right.
Yeah.
Is there something more you guys would like to see on this podcast? It's kind of been a slow couple weeks because, it was the end of 2024. We're just getting into 2025. So there's been a lot of things happening. A lot of people on vacation or holiday. But typically we have more PHP topics to talk about.
Yeah. And over the next few months, it's going to be a lot of PHP tech because we're so excited about it.
I know
we're spending a ton of money, so we really need to find some sponsors. We need sponsors. We need attendees.
I'm pretty sure we can just rerun the podcast from last year. Like I'm pretty sure it was the same stuff.
No, we got new. We actually have 25% of our speakers have never spoken at PHP Tech in the past.
That's very exciting.
We were doing that math earlier today, and yeah. I think that's important.
Can we talk about this one last thing? I promise you, I will stop talking about tech eventually. Let's go over here. I am very excited about the fact that, where are they? Easton and Peter.
Whatever.
Yep. Easton and Peter are a father-son duo. Peter has been in the PHP community, Meth, by the way, last name Meth. Peter has been in the PHP community for a long time. I mean, I remember seeing, Peter's name floated around well before, for a while. Ran into his son, I think at Tech last year, I want to say, and then again at Cascadia. And he'd asked me, it's funny, we were at Cascadia, and he asked me, he goes, "Hey, have you seen my dad?" And I'm like, "Son, who the hell is your dad?" I don't know. I don't know who these people are.
I'm lost. Can you find my daddy for me?
So then I see him sitting at the table with Peter. I'm like, "Holy shit, is that his son?" And I'm like, "Is that your dad?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, I had never put them together before." But so they're both speaking. And they're actually doing a team-up talk as well, which is very exciting. Admin.
And I booked their flights today, and Easton made me feel very old. Because he was born in the 2000s. 2005. He's...
I don't get it.
He's young.
Easton is.
Yeah, he's young.
Yeah. Okay.
It made me feel very old. I was like, oh my goodness.
Well, it's weird. This was a few years back, but my kids pointed out the fact that if you were born in 19 anything, you were old enough to drink. I'm like, no, that's not. This is obviously 2021, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, oh yeah, if you were born 19 anything, you're now legally old enough to drink. I'm like, no, you got to be 21 to drink. Holy God! Wait a minute, what? I always pissed me off. My kids. So my kids were born in '98. So they're on the tail end of the 19 X. But one of the things they told me, they were like, hey, Dad, what was the internet like in the 1900s? I'm like, 1900? What? The 1900s? I mean, yes, it was that century, but no, don't say that.
I tried. So my kid's now getting into robotics and stuff, and part of it is you have to set the baud rate to talk to the chips. And I tried telling him, like, explaining baud rate in 9600 and how back in the day I had like a modem that spoke at like, I think I got on at like, was it 600 or 1200? Like
1200.
Very early on. It was like, and then trying to explain how the internet worked back then or connecting to other computers. And he just looked at me like, that's crazy.
Load line by line. We're old.
We are
old. All right, well,
and if you want to come talk to a couple of old guys, come to Tech.
Come to Tech. Yes, we'll point out the old guys to you.
And we'll tell you how it was in the olden days. Back when
heart. Yeah. Oh man. All right. I think that's it, John. I think we need to wrap this up. You good?
It is. It is good. It was. I don't have any predictions for 2025 yet. Maybe I'll try and think of some for.
Why are you worried about John's predictions? You don't ask me. You're just like, oh, John, do you have predictions? John's never right.
So I went to email the speakers for Tech, and I looked at last year. We sent them a survey, and you added that question: who do you like more, Eric, John, or I don't know who these people are? And I was looking back through those answers.
I lost that hard.
The people that are like, I don't know who these people are. Like,
yeah. A Woods is another speaker at our conference.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. You updated your profile already, A Woods. Good job, my man. Good job.
Oh, all right, so cool. I just realized that Caesar pointed out that the two Chicago teams are playing, and Corey's like, "Oh yeah, I'll go update the post." So she must have updated it prior to you loading it on the screen.
Oh really?
Yeah. Timing wise,
yeah. Either there. I mean, that wasn't last year because we went to the game last year. They didn't play the Sox last year.
No.
So. Yeah. Oh yeah, the dates. The dates are. Well, wait a minute. This is before the conference.
Yeah.
So 5, 16, 17, 18. Yeah. Okay. So cool stuff, man. All right, that's gonna be it. We don't really have an ending for the show anymore. We giving up.
Oh, she said she didn't update it. Maybe that was from last year. Ruh-roh. We lied to people.
Cubs are playing the Sox. I don't know anymore. I don't know what's truth, what's false.
They are, but it's the 16th, 17th, 18th.
Oh, okay. All right, Corey, maybe update your post. Oh no, that's what's there. 16th, 17th, 18th.
Oh.
At 1:20?
Let me go back. 11:20, 11:20, 11:20.
Oh, so the times are wrong.
Huh?
The times are saying 1:20.
Oh, it is 1:20.
You're saying 11:20 because you're looking at local. Yeah.
1:20. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is all right. No, what did Corey just say? Corey said, no, it's this year. LOL. Okay. All right. Yeah. So whether you put it there or just magically appeared, I don't know, Corey, but it's there. So we're good.
All right.
Oh, and I will say this. I know we're trying to wrap things up. If you're coming to Chicago and you have time and you can come to this Griffin Museum of Science and Industry, go to this thing. This is the coolest museum. I come from DC, where we have some of the best. We have the Smithsonian's and everything's free. I don't think this museum's free, but I've only been there for Laracon. Laracon was held here one year. But I know my museums, and I'm very picky about my museums. This, outside of the Smithsonian's, this museum...
Smithsonian's?
What am I saying? Yeah.
I don't know.
This is one of the best museums I've ever... A lot of hands-on, especially if you have to bring kids with you. And bring kids with you. Like, bring your family. You can make this a whole family trip. But this has got some of the coolest hands-on exhibits. It's just so much fun. I keep saying I'm going to go back to this museum, and then we end up being too busy, and I don't make it there. But you can, I don't know if all the exhibits are the same, but when I was there for Laracon, you could stand here it is right here. You could stand. This is a little tornado. You can go stand inside of this tornado. It is so cool. It is huge. It's an absolutely huge museum. So yeah, strongly recommend checking out our list on PHP Tech, but try to add this to your to-dos, man, because it's so much.
Sounds like you need to add a blog post about this.
Yeah, I need to go there. I don't think I have not taken the wife there yet, so I need to take her if she comes this year. I'm not 100% sure she's going to be joining this year. We've got a lot of stuff going on around that time because May is a very busy month for us with anniversaries and birthdays and stuff. So yeah, and now we have a conference. All right, that's it. I promise you, I'm not going to talk or ramble anymore.
All right. Thanks for hanging out with us for the past hour. We appreciate you.
We do.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
This has been PHP Podcast, the official podcast of PHP Architect, the industry's leading tech magazine and publisher, focused on PHP and web development. Subscribe today at phparch.com to see what the leaders in the community and industry are talking about.